The key is to roll, not
scrape.
Not scrape, exactly.
Hey, it's Jason with Dad's That Cook. I've got the ultimate challenge today. Making fresh pasta from scratch, which I've never done. So I've got Chef Hiram here from Haiku, all the way in Maui, teaching me how to make linguine carbonara with wild boar. I'm stoked! Let's get on it, let's do it! All right, so now it's pasta time, right?
Yes,
This is where the magic happens, and
Yes.
this is where I'm finally gonna learn how to make fresh pasta.
What's gonna be important in making your pasta delicious is delicious egg yolks. So farmers market, fresh egg yolks that you know who raise these chickens is always preferred. And then very, very importantly is the flour, the type of flour that we're using. So I really enjoy Anson Mills based out of South Carolina. Very top producer of heirloom grains in the country. Which is gonna make the flavor of the pasta and the texture of it superior to a store-bought flour.
Let's get started, let's get the hands dirty.
The first step is flour. You know, this is about 220 grams here, which is what I would consider, since we're having a light lunch with a salad, and we're gonna add a little bit of salt to it. And then over here we have our egg yolks.
Yeah.
And we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil to that, tablespoon, half a tablespoon. So we're gonna mix our salt and flour a little bit, and
Right on the counter.
right on the counter.
Oh, this is what I see.
I do
I'm
make
getting
the
the
well,
magic.
but I like at least starting out this way. My trick at this point is to just simply mix it all up.
Just mixing,
Yep.
cutting.
Yep, and what you're looking
Mixing,
for
cutting.
is you're looking for the egg yolks to start mixing in with the flour and to start having little chunks. And we just go in and grab it right with our hands. I like to kind of cup it together and just squeeze it to really get the egg yolk to get into the flour. You just start squishing it together and just keep rotating around in this manner.
And how long do you do this for?
I do it for about 8 or 10 minutes. So I'm gonna let you get in here, Jason, and practice this a little bit. And don't forget that I'm lefty, so you'll probably be doing this with opposite hands.
I probably will. Well, let me see. I don't know. It depends, because the folding process, right?
Yeah.
See, I got to go left and then down. You took it and you kind of, well, see, I didn't do as pretty as you. Mine's all crunchy
and
looking.
it's okay.
So.
You'll see those Italian grandmas, they got wide wrists.
Yeah,
it is
right?
really,
Big,
it is
strong
really good
hands.
for you. And
They do a lot of rock climbing. Right?
I'm sure they'd be good at it.
Everybody wants to know how you got your passion for cooking. Where did it come from for you?
So I was born in Israel. I
Okay.
grew up there until I was 10.
Oh, wow.
And I was always a big eater as a kid. I always loved eating food.
14 years of working in restaurants and then
Yeah.
10 years of being a private chef, so you've been at it for a couple of years. So how did you meet your wife?
I've known my wife since I was younger. Both of our families immigrated to the US. And when I was working on the farm, she came to visit via my sister's recommendation.
Oh, really?
And we hit it off and had this romance towards the end of the season on the farm. 2 kids in the recent 3.5 years. So speaking of coming together, our dough is really starting to come together now, and you could see that it's getting a lot smoother. And now as we grab it and press the center,
it's not breaking apart
it's not breaking apart, and that's really the sign that our dough is ready to go. Flouring it and putting it inside a plastic bag or wrapping it inside plastic wrap, but you want a little bit of flour on it just so it doesn't stick to your bag or plastic wrap. And we're gonna give it a good half an hour to rest and relax.
Okay, so what's the process here? I see you got this big pot you were talking about. You did something earlier.
A lot of people are using heavy cream as part of the sauce for a carbonara, and that is not really the traditional way to do it, and not the way that I prefer to go about it. We are gonna create an emulsion with the egg yolks and our special fat that we are going to skim off of this venison stew, which I made yesterday.
Wow.
So many of you have made meat stews at home, and you know that the next morning after your stew has cooled, there's a layer of fat that settles over the top, and usually you don't know what to do with it. Well, from now on, you are gonna know what to do with it.
So this is like unbelievable tip, like trick that you would use, right? Because most people would just use like cream or some type of butter or some fat.
It's the ultimate of tricks, but it also is something that's gonna make this dish unique to you. So we're gonna gently take some of this fat off of the top of the stew, and we're gonna put it into a small pot so we can warm it up.
So when you get a boar, you have friends that hunt, and you get a whole entire boar that.
That's right. They take the hide off for me, and they gut it for me, and most often the head is not included either. A boning knife is really all that
That's
you
all
need.
you need, really.
You just delicately and carefully
my vision,
in and make the
my
cut.
vision is you in the garage with the chain, yeah, and a big old saw, and you know. Interesting. Okay, well, that'll be a new adventure for me, I can tell you right now, because I'm used to just going down to the store and saying, hey, what do you got in the package? Great, let's go home and cook it.
Our wild boar today is from the backstrap. I like to confit the backstrap, and then once that is done, then I can just pull it apart.
Technically, what is confit?
Confit is when you cook something slowly in fat. And then it's also a way to preserve it.
Okay, so you already confit this piece of boar. What was your process in doing this?
Place the piece of backstrap into a dish, add in some of your own seasonings. At that point, you could add a little bit of salt. In this here, I used olive oil. This is gonna slow cook in the oven at 250 for about 4 or 6 hours. The oil is never gonna get to too hot of a temperature. You could set it to cool and eventually put it into the fridge and seal it up, and you've only used 1 container. Thank you very much. All right, so we melted the fat off the stew, and now we're just gonna strain it through here and get all these bits out of it. What we're doing right now is we're gonna emulsify the eggs with the fat. We have our egg yolks, which we're gonna put into this nice bowl over here. A little bit of vinegar, or let's say a teaspoon. Dijon helps everything to emulsify and hold together. A little splash of salt is nice. I like a little bit of smoky paprika. So just a tiny little specks. I also get these beautiful black sun-dried pepper flakes from Turkey. Okay. So here we have our fat, we got our vinegar, mustard, and then it's a very slow stream. If you put in too much at once, it will want to separate on you. Okay, so that was it. It wasn't really hard. It didn't take that long to put together. This is going to be the bulk of our carbonara sauce.
Okay. You got guests.
Oh,
we got people. We got family to feed. Who do we have here?
This is my daughter, Isabel.
And your wife, Lena, right?
And my wife, Lena, of course.
That's right.
So I got caught up in the baby.
You know, we don't want to forget about her.
But it's going to be ready in about 45 minutes, half an hour.
Can she hold on for 45 minutes? I'm not sure. All right, let's whip this up.
All right, guys, we are going to roll out our pasta dough. Get this to be a little bit thinner so it fits into our machine without getting too squished and torn up. So this first time around, we only need to run it through once on each number. So we're going to roll it through 0, 1, 2, and 3. And it doesn't really matter that the dough is tearing a little bit. So now we're just going to fold it to make a nice, just so it doesn't start sticking. A little bit of flour or enough flour so the dough is not sticking in the machine and wanting to tear. So now we're going to go back to 0. Jason, I'm going to let you work with this as well in just a minute here.
Just pull it through and get this guy out of the way.
And you want to let the machine guide it out. You don't want to pull it out and stretch it.
Right. How many more times do you want to go with that?
We're going to do one more time on number 1.
Oh, it's getting stuck down there.
Well, then I would push it out or just push it through.
I'm not going to mess with it. I feel like I'm gonna screw something up
but it's
here.
just a little nudge.
Yeah, I don't want it to rip, and then that's the end of that. You know what I mean?
At this point, if it's so long, you could also cut it in half. Lay the 2 sheets side by side, and I'm gonna flour them because I don't want them to stick inside my cutter.
We got to roll out some dough. We got to make some dough. It's all rolled out. It's all floured down, and now we've got this process of cutting it with looks like a guitar of sorts.
This is called a chitarra.
It's chitarra?
It's definitely an Italian invention, and these are guitar strings that are just simply stretched over this box. And now you don't want to press too hard right from the start, so you start going in a little bit somewhat gentle, but pressing it in and not necessarily dragging across so much. But now that I've gone through a few times.
Oh, wow. That's when you play the song.
Yes.
The song of pasta.
So now we'll just exit that right there. 1 or 2 more, Jason, and then I'm gonna let you have a go at it. The key is to roll, not
scrape.
Not scrape, exactly.
Yeah, but it looks like it's already starting to fall through. Do you think that is done, or a couple pieces?
So it looked like you just needed a bit more pressure on this bottom edge.
Yeah. But again, this is my first time being a virgin pasta maker, so I'm telling you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let them go. Awesome. Pasta stud now. We're on to the next step now, and it looks like we got some hot water going, and it looks like you got yourself a new little knife here.
I don't know where that showed up from, but I'm very excited about it.
A little Dad's That Cook knife.
Ah.
Maybe we can do a little chopping with the shallots.
I think we could definitely do some chopping with that. Look at this beautiful knife. We're gonna slice a few shallots. You could dice them if you want, but I like them sliced. We're also going to pull some of our wild boar confit. Warmed up pan. It doesn't have to be a cast iron. It could just be a stainless steel pan. So we don't want this to be on too high a heat. So while our shallots are starting to cook, this is a really fast process. So we're gonna drop our pasta in the water, which is probably gonna take about 5 minutes or so to cook.
Okay.
So our shallots are caramelizing just slightly, and we're gonna add in the wild boar. And at this point, my pan is on low.
Okay.
There's a little bit of sizzle, but it's not cooking too much quite yet. I also would like a little bit of fresh thyme on here. We have our emulsion that we made here, and I'm gonna grate some nice quality Parmesan cheese. I also have a bit more of the smoky pepper flakes, which I'm gonna add on at this point also. I warmed up a little bit of vegetable broth here because this will need a bit more liquid.
And of course the vegetable broth he made, you know, what do you expect?
We're bringing in a little bit of our pasta water. We're also gonna pour in a good, almost cup of our vegetable broth.
Okay.
And then we're gonna lift up the pan and dump all of our meat right into it as well. And that is a crying baby.
Oh wow, look at that.
And it's all coming together with our egg emulsion, our vegetable broth,
wow,
a little bit of pasta water in there. I would almost say that we could add a bit more of the vegetable broth in there.
Okay.
Some plates.
Ooh, look at that.
Feel free to kind of portion here. You can always twist the plate a little bit.
Oh,
yeah.
You've done that before.
I have done that before. At this point, take a little bit more of the sauce.
Man, Hiram.
This one was a little bit of a bigger portion. I think Jason worked hard today and he's ready for it.
Oh yeah, I totally need it.
We're gonna do a little bit more of our Parmesan cheese over the top.
And there you have it.
And there you have it. We got some beautiful arugula here that we got at the farmer's market.
Okay.
And this is for those who prefer the arugula in with the pasta dish.
Oh, wow.
And you could just mix it in just like this. It doesn't even have to be cooked much.
Your dad is amazing. Do you know that?
How about you take this?
Yeah, take a kid.
45.
No?
Okay, take this one.
That's that. Oh yeah, the easy one. Take that one.
Okay, Mills, you ready to eat? Oh, now she wants to.
They always just got to be together. That's as long as I take
that
them
what it
together. Are you guys ready to eat?
My gosh.
You ready to enjoy some of this delicious pasta that Daddy made?
The carbonara, crazy. If you want to learn more about Italian stuff, how to make more Italian food, just click on over here and you can go watch all the Italian secrets we got going on.
I'm gonna let you go first,
You're gonna
Jason.
let me go first?
Yep.
There's arugula.
Yeah.
Let's got it.
I'm already married, Jason.
Oh my God.
We're gonna put a little bit of olive oil in.
That was
This
a
may
good
or
one.
may not get
We'll
edited.
throw that one into the bloopers.
This may be one of those things that ends up at the end of the episode.